Hello everybody, this is Jacob Ramey with my Tribe Talk on how we can all end food insecurity together. This is my first Tribe Talk, and I hope you all enjoy the presentation. It should take no more than 15 minutes. Let's start. Food deserts exist in every corner of America. Most cities have these deserts, and the rural areas are even worse off. Sodas, fries, burgers. We can't eat this way every single day. We need to provide our bodies with the proper nutrition it takes to live long. This presentation will walk you through the current situation in America and how we could overcome it responsibly. We all want to eat healthy food, but it's only accessible sometimes. Food deserts only affect a subset of the population, but during the pandemic, everybody felt the sting of supply chain problems at the grocery store. There are existing solutions, but they are inadequate. Farmers markets have been around forever, but unique challenges in the pandemic made them even less effective at solving food insecurity. Food deserts emerge from a multitude of factors that stem from the profitability of alternate food options as well as the planning practices of grocery stores. Food deserts are everywhere. Being able to find healthy food is a privilege not everybody enjoys. They are in most places near you, and the health impact on the people living in them is enormous. Imagine that you are raising your small family in a food desert. What's for dinner? The options are chips, snack crackers, soft drink, candy, fast food. It's easy to see how this cannot be good for a child's development and growth. We can easily take for granted access to clean and healthy foods. However, the general population can also benefit from solving food insecurity. I want people to imagine being back in that situation where you couldn't find the necessities you needed at the grocery store. People were buying more preserved foods during this time more than ever, partially due to the cost of goods and the unavailability of produce. Now, people in food deserts experience this every day. Eating unhealthy like this on a daily can take a huge toll on our health. Eating good food is difficult when the population is sparse and low income. We're stuck eating many processed snacks instead of healthy food options for dinner. Here's a graphic of food deserts. This map in particular is in the Appalachian. These people are even further from a grocery store, 20 miles, with no car. The only option is the small stores that are close by. Grocery stores redline areas from getting a store if they don't meet a certain income or population threshold. And on top of that, produce just doesn't keep as long as processed and preserved foods. Hot foods usually come from fast food restaurants loaded with sugar, salt, and fat. Food deserts limit access to healthy foods disproportionately, and they really affect minorities. The root of the problem comes from the profitability of the preserved foods versus produce, and a lack of incentive for grocery stores to establish in poor areas. The cost of providing produce to lower income areas with few people was too high for stores, so the only stores that survive are fast food and convenience stores. The USDA actually maintains a GIS map you can access online, which is where I got these graphics. In my hometown of Richmond, Virginia, there's a desert on the north side of town that I've driven through before. I picked this area because it's local to me, and it shows just how prevalent they are, even in popular locations with all types of people. It's easy to see how people can get health issues when the only food available is fast food or snack food. We must find a way to get food on the table that overcomes these challenges. Today, food deserts exist even in most affluent places. There's a map of the currently known food deserts in the U.S., and it really looks similar to a cellular college map, with tons of gaps. Having the misfortune to live in these areas will undoubtedly lead to health issues at the expense of maximized profits for the stores. Using GIS, we could develop a targeted response to the community's needs. So many crops were destroyed after farmers could not sell them when many businesses closed between 2020 and 2022. A lot of food was donated to food banks, but there's so much storage for produce. They were forced to destroy much of their yield for the season. There's millions of hungry people, and they're unable to get access to the healthy food that is being destroyed. An article from National Geographic stated that farmers say getting the food in the hands of the people that need it most is exceptionally difficult and just often beyond their control. Supply chain shortages may disrupt healthy food from coming into town, prompting people to look for more preserved alternatives. The fragility of our supply chains is a problem that affects everybody. We need a solution that relies less on supply chains and brings healthy produce closer to home. Did you know in the U.S. that 54 million people are food insecure, and 23.5 million live in food deserts. This means that 1 in 6 Americans struggle to eat daily. We've relied on farms for a long time, and they are very effective in supplying restaurants and some grocery stores. But the shelf life of products is limited, and transportation and storage eat away at the margins. I want to live in a world where we all have our own micro farm at home, supplying our family with the produce that we grow ourselves. The people who are most highly impacted by this are minorities and the poor. These people are also less likely to be insured, furthering the damage of eating unhealthy foods. You would think SNAP benefits would go a long way in addressing those needs, but it doesn't help if there's not a grocery store near you. Should we be feeding our young ones fast food every day? In Georgia, we could see the distribution of stores to SNAP enrollment. There are large areas in the state where the population is small and mostly poor. In these areas, they won't establish grocery stores because people just don't have the income to support the store's operations. With all this data, it's easy to see how poor people get the short end of the stick. Another issue stems from the profitability of the goods being sold. For the local stores, it makes more financial sense to sell the processed foods with a higher profit margin that also lasts longer on the shelf with less infrastructure like refrigeration and misting nozzles. The last significant factor is getting food from the farm to the consumer. Most produce gets damaged or goes bad, or much rather, on the way to being sold. Meanwhile, processed foods retain value and take up less space for a higher profit margin. People living in food deserts specifically do not have cars, so they're limited to the foods and stores nearby. So I wanted to go over a few potential approaches to solving this problem. I was walking through Carytown in Richmond, Virginia, where I spotted this mobile farmer's market. I thought it was a great idea. After all, not everybody is fortunate to live near a farmer's market. Farmers markets do have a place in solving food insecurity, but they're often not in food deserts, and they are seasonal. Some solutions could be embraced to stop this problem. Many people have home gardens, but they too are subject to weather conditions and are seasonal. We need a solution that will work for us year-round. I believe that an effective solution is an indoor garden capable of producing enough greens for a family of 4 to eat salad for dinner every night. And growing lettuce, spinach, and other greens is inexpensive, quick, and can be done in minimal space. The benefit of hydroponic gardens also helps lessen the impact conventional farming has on the environment. Lastly, indoor garden eliminates the need for transporting the produce to the end consumer. It's right in your home. In order to execute this plan, there's going to have to be a product created. The product is a kit of materials to build an indoor garden and start growing indoors. The team consists of just myself at this point. It'll be similar to the commercially available AeroGarden, but larger and lower cost. We'll provide the lights for the plants, reservoir nutrients, seed, and starter plugs. The reservoir will be a Tough Tow from Lowe's or Home Depot, which can hold up to 12 gallons of solution. So it'll be much, much larger than the AeroGardens, which are around 1 gallon in size, providing a much higher yield for the family. In order to execute this plan, I'm going to require a physical space to pack the parts into kits and store the final product while it's waiting to be sold. For now, this is likely to be my garage space because, for me, it's already paid for, it doesn't cost me anything additional, and I'm the only one working on it, so it'll make the entry low price. I'll establish a relationship with Amazon by going through the process of becoming a vendor. I'll need to market our product to our consumer, so I need a marketing plan that'll be effective for people living in these areas. In order to market effectively, I'll be using what's called a persona. A persona is a fictionalized representation of a typical customer for our product. We use it to capture all information about a person, demographics, where they shop, their interests, and how to best market to them. I've developed a persona for a man, Carlos, who lives in Baltimore. He lives with his wife and his young family. He wants to be able to feed his family a good dinner each night to set them up for success. In this photograph, he's grabbing fresh fruit from a food bank program and providing produce to a convenience store. He's active on social media and shops in local stores, so online is the best place to market to him. The typical person who'll buy this product will use social media and watch the local news, so that'll be a great way to advertise to them digitally. We'll handle physical advertising at any local point of interest, like bus stops, etc., and consider delivering a paper ad to each house in the area of need. The average person in need of this product lives with family members that may go to local schools, so maybe that would be another great place to get the word out. A plan for reaching Carlos and helping him overcome food insecurity would involve advertising the home garden kit to local stores he's already accessing and online, where he frequents social media. I believe indoor gardening is the future. We will all have a garden like this in our future home. We can all eat well without traveling long distances to get food and reduce our environmental impact. We can all participate in helping people overcome food insecurity by coming up with a socially, environmentally responsible solution. This product will give consumers the nutrition they need without the middleman, like stores, distribution, and storage. For the environment, there will be fewer trucks on the road shipping produce and less runoff from using hydroponics. The cost to the consumer will be far less since there are fewer links in the supply chain, and the companies will benefit because they don't need to stock food that may not be sold or may go bad. The hobbyist hydroponic market will grow significantly, and many parties will benefit from this revolutionary change. We can all be a part of the solution. Indoor gardening can help the planet, feed people, and simplify the supply chain for fresh produce. Fewer trucks on the roads shipping lettuce that will ultimately go bad around the stores that won't sell it, and more fresh produce right from the home. SNAP benefits could also be used to buy these gardening kits and supply them with the nutrients regularly to keep them producing. Encouraging people to establish their own home gardens is a great way to lessen the impact that food insecurity has on them. Bring home dinner tonight and every night with an indoor garden. People everywhere deserve access to essential foods. Imagine the difference you can make in these people's lives by helping to end food insecurity once and for all. We can all live healthier lifestyles by growing our own produce at home indoors with hydroponic garden. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned a bit and enjoyed it. Here are the references I used below if you want to look for more information.